Hi, so I'm going to show you some really bad data. If I just zoom in here, you will see all these gradients and artifacts, things that have went wrong during stacking, and most people would tell you just get rid of the old data, the stuff that doesn't look good. It's just going to ruin your image. Okay, maybe that's very true, but if you can salvage it and have it come out looking like that, why throw all that data away? And I'm going to show you how I did that in this video. Hi folks, it's Katie here, and it's been a while since I've done anything, but the weather's been really bad here of late in Scotland, especially the west coast. Lots of heavy cloud and rain, and sod's law, I bought a Skywatcher 100, the Esprit 100, and I also bought the ZWO 2600 mono camera. And since then, I've not been able to use them. That's actually a lie. I managed to get, let's see, I think it was 95 minutes of data on I think it was the Soul, yeah, the Soul Nebula. But since then, I've not had the chance to actually use it, and it was just a test shot just to try and do a test run, get the focusing and all that sorted because I've got an off-axis guider as well now. And I noticed that I was getting a shadow, so I had to figure out moving the prism about, all these things that I'm having to learn. As you do, you fall down the rabbit hole and you start upgrading your equipment. And sometimes you're better off just staying with what you had. But anyway, with the weather being so bad, I decided, okay, all you've got left to do is some image processing and editing. So I have this image here, and it's the Heart Nebula with the fish head. And the reason I'm doing this video is this actual image has so many things wrong with it. It's not perfect, not by a long shot. There's walking noise, there's regular noise, there's stacking artifacts, there's just a lot going on in there. And I decided, well, I'm not throwing the data away. I'm just going to process it as best as I can and see what I can salvage. And what I can't do in PixInsight, I'll then take over to Photoshop and do a wee bit more extensive editing till I get the image the way I like it. So hopefully you'll be able to follow along, and that way, if you're having similar issues and image problems, you can maybe do the same. Okay, so let's get to it. I need to put my glasses on because I'm blind as a bat. Right, so here's the raw data, and as you can see, and this is the combined data from these three. And as you can see, there is artifacts and gradients all along. And if I zoom in, you'll see them here, stacking artifacts. These things happen. I don't know what happened that night, but it wasn't until I started looking at the data and and as I say, most people would throw it out. But I thought, you know what? No. I know people say, oh, but the better the data, the better the image. But if you're confident and, semi-proficient in Photoshop, you can actually fix a lot of things. Um, you know, it just depends whether you're looking for perfection or not. As I said before, it's your image. Do as you please. Anyway, let's get started. So first of all, I am going to crop this and take away all that. Okay, so here we go. And I want to go as near to the edge as possible because I don't want to take away too much of the data that's there. So, yep, it always gives you these wee warnings. So that's that cropped. It's a wee bit better. Now, when it comes to using certain icons here, they won't work for me unless I actually stretch the image. So I'm going to do that right away. And here we are. So I'm going to stretch it so that I can get the use of some of the icons. And I'm just going to make that smaller. And we'll bring this over a bit. So there you have it. We've got a lot of magenta stars and a lot of magenta in the background. So I'm going to go up to scripts and down to utilities. And over here, as you can see, correct the magenta stars. I'm actually just going to leave it at the settings that's there. I'm not going to change it. So I'll let that run its course. Then we'll close it. And as you can see, the magenta's gone from the stars, which is fantastic. I am now going to go up and do an automatic background extraction. Everybody's got their own way of doing things. Most people would do a colour calibration right away. That's up to you. I've got my own workflow and it works for me. Might not work for anybody else, but it certainly works for me. So, yeah, that's not too bad. And what I am going to do is I'm going to go back into utilities and into the dark structure enhance, and I'm going to keep it at the default again. And all I'm doing is bringing out, you know, certain parts of the structure that's already in there, like these lines down here, down in the fish head along here, and so forth. It just brings out that wee bit more detail, a little bit darker, which is fantastic. And next, what I am going to do is go for a clone for Starless. And now that we've got that, I'm going to put this original image down here out the way. And we're going to work on the Starless one. And first and foremost, I'm going to get a star mask because I want to work on the Starless image to bring out more of the nebula. Okay, so I'm going to create a star mask. I'm going to untick this because I've already stretched the image, and you've got your choices up here. You know, I'm just sticking with the middle one that was always there. And we'll let that do its thing. Takes about maybe 30, 45 seconds, just depends how fast your processor is on your computer. And I'll pause this just now and we'll come straight back as soon as it's done. So here we are back again, and here is our star mask, which we are going to just lower and put down here at the moment. And as you can see here, there's lots of noise, there's lots of gradients, as I said, but there's still quite a bit of data in there, so let's work on it. Right, so there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can do the modified SCNR, and that'll bring it basically out like a HOO palette. Or, you know, you can actually go in and do the same thing, SCNR, and take out all the green. Does the same thing, you know. It just depends what works for you and what you prefer to do. So we'll do that for the moment. And I am going to bring up a preview, and I'm going to add some saturation just to let you see what's actually in there. And there you go. It's not that bad. There's quite a bit in there. Quite a bit. And we'll do a wee RGBK. And we'll just do a wee slight S curve. Just to make the image pop. Okay. There we go. We don't want to go too crazy. You know, just some subtle changes. And I'm going to actually sharpen this a little. So script utilities, advanced sharpening, and once again I'm just going to leave it at the default here. Let it do its thing. And there we are. And I'm going to do some noise exterminator. I'm not going to take it as high as that. We'll take it down to about 80. And once again, I'm going to pause this. I don't want to put you through the pain of waiting, so bear with me. So that's that part done, and it's taking out quite a bit of the noise, which is fabulous. As you can see, as I say, the only annoying thing is all this, which really bugged me, but it wasn't until after the imaging session was done that I actually noticed all of this. So here we go. We are going to go in and start using some masks. And we're going to go with the red mask at the moment. And we'll try and bring out as much colour as we can. There we go. And we will just do a wee mask blur. Soften this. There we are. Come on. My PC is running slow. I've got that many things on in the background, believe it or not. So curves transformation, and we'll do a preview window. And we're going to go into the red channel, as it's a red mask we've got on. And I'll bring that up. And it all comes down to personal taste. If you like the golden colours, or do you like, you know, like the yellows, that type thing. It's entirely up to you. Entirely up to you. Now you can go wild. You can add in as much as you want. And I'm going to do that. And we'll reset. Now let's just see if we lighten this up a bit. There we go. Just a tad. Not too much. Right? Excuse me, folks. Now, if I go into the green channel, there you go, that brings out more of the yellow, all the way up to a lime green, neon green more like. But I just want to bring that up a bit. And with the blue, we'll actually bring the blue down, that brings the yellow out as well. Now, I'm one of these people that does like to play with colour palettes. I always have done. Even before PixInsight, I would play with colour palettes in Photoshop for hours and hours on end. So I'll play with all the different channels till I find something I like. So for instance, I just don't want to go too crazy. I'm just trying to see what's there. Okay, let's just see how this looks actually. It might be just a wee bit too noisy. No, so far so good. So we'll do it again. So you've got your red and your yellows. As I say, it's your own personal taste whether you want it yellow, whether you want it that golden bronze, whether you want it red. It's up to you, you know. It's a subjective art form. So that's what I'm going to be doing anyway. And I am then going to remove that mask, and I'm now going to go into the blue mask and do the same thing and bring out the blue. Okay, and same thing again, folks. A wee bit of mask blur just to soften. And then drag and drop. Oops, I must have taken that outside the box. Didn't mean to do that. And there we go. And preview window, same thing again, only your blue channel. And bring out your blue. Don't want to go that far. Okay. And let's see. We'll brighten this up a bit more. I think I've went a wee bit over the top with the golden orange here. Oh, jeez. Let's see. Green? No. No. I suppose some people like the greeny tones, and not doing certain things, I must admit. And if I do the red, goes to a nice purpley colour. But if I bring the red down, you get this deeper blue. Okay. Let's just see. Too deep a blue, too light a blue. So it's a mixture of in between, I guess. Okay, so now we are going to actually remove that mask as well. We'll get into the RGBK, preview, lift this up a wee bit, bring it down, just ever so gently, and okay, now hold on, let me just see if I bring the red down just a bit. Oof, don't want to be doing that, folks. I don't know. Let's leave it the way it is just now. Right, so I've done that. I'm going to go back in and do an automatic background extraction. Subtract. Let's see what it takes out. Okay, so it's taken a lot of that background color gradient out, which is great. Normally you could go in and do a dynamic background extraction, but for the sake of this video, we're just doing it as quick as we possibly can. And As I say, we're getting there slowly but surely. We'll do this into curves and take the saturation down just a tad. Because I don't want it blinding us for sure. Right. Okay. So that's looking not too bad, folks. So I'm actually going to go and put the stars on this now. Let's just get rid of these masks in the background. And now we will get into Pixel Math. Clear that. And we will go starless, plus sign, and our star mask. And we will OK that. And ta-da! There we go. That's actually looking not too bad. Okay, I've seen worse. I have seen worse. And next what I'm going to do is, let's do a wee star reduction here just to see. I'm just going to go back on that. Oops. Right, I'll make that a 10. Let's see. Not really much of a difference. Much of a muchness here. Now we could take a lot more stars out, but you know what? Why? But let's just, for a wee bit of fun, I'm going to make that a 1. Yeah. So just a wee bit more subtle, but still leaving enough there. And we'll do another wee curves transformation. And what we'll do is, oh, I'm in the wrong tab. I'm in saturation there, sorry. And we'll just brighten this fellow up a little. But not too much. And I quite like that. Don't know about you folks. So I am now going to pause and go into Photoshop, and we're going to take out all of these little gradients here. Okay, so I'll see you in a few seconds. Actually, I need to save. It would help if I saved the image. Let's call it Heartfish. Oops. Heart-fish. And we'll keep it as a TIFF. Okay. And I'm going to make it 16-bit. I am then going to go in here and we will go into Heartfish. There it's there. And we'll bring that up. As you can see, I've been playing about with things. And here we have it. Now, I'm actually going to duplicate this image. And I'm going to play with the duplicate. Okay. And first and foremost, I'm going to go Control J. And I'm going to play with this. Right. So what I tend to find is if I go Control I and invert it, I look to see there's all my nice wee stars, and I'm just checking that, you know, there's definitely the detail in there, which is good, really good. Okay, and here's these wee artifacts I was telling you about in the stacking problems that we had. We can see them. So what I usually would do is I would go in here to the spot healing brush. I'll make that a bit smaller. Click, click. Okay, and what that will do is, now you could actually go into here and do the patch tool as well, but then you might actually be picking up stars that shouldn't actually be there. We'll just go back to Control I again just to show you. So I've already started taking out some of these artifacts, as you can see. And that's all I would do. As I say, some people prefer to use the patch tool. That way they can match up the stars that they're taking out, that type thing. But me personally, I mean, who's going to be counting all the millions of stars that are in there? There might be some pixel peepers that enjoy doing that, but at the end of the day, folks, it's just a bit of fun. It's an image. Unless you take it serious, it's a business for you, then yes, I can see the point. Or if you're entering competitions, then it's a must that everything be perfect. But there you go. As I say, most people would have thrown a lot of that data out. I just refuse to do that because I don't get enough good weather or long enough weather where I can afford to keep throwing data away. So I make the best of the situation and try and fix it. If for whatever reason something's happened to the image, then I'll try and fix it. There is ways, there is means, do it. And that way you'll enjoy what you've got out of it in the long run. As I say, it's just a matter of checking over, seeing that you've done what you've had to do in order to preserve as much detail and data that you've got. So that's that, folks. And all I would do now is save that, or I could go into Camera Raw and make some other changes. But I don't want to drag this video out too long. So that's my way, and I hope it helps some folk. I hope, that there's people out there that might be upset with my methods, but it's my methods for me. I'm not asking you all to do it. I'm just giving you ideas and tips on how things can be done and how you can fix things rather than throwing good data away. Yes, there's bad data in there, but if you can resolve it, this is what you'll get. You'll get a half decent image. Okay. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye.